One, two, 1, 2. Robert
Let's
and
go.
Brooks. Man, let's see if I can get the name of the show right because the last couple times I got it wrong. I had that symptom that you had at the fence show where it
Yeah.
was like could not get it right. All right.
Mm.
So I just wanted to say what's up real quick, and I was gonna actually show one of our better performing uh videos that we did, and I want to see. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm gonna show this video real quick at the beginning, Robert, and see if everybody
Let's do
likes
it.
it. We just need to forget about that. Put away our problems. Get along with each other. This was me out in the field earlier this week. I was teaching this young buck
Hmm.
like 10 different things at one time: how to set the limits, why the gate wouldn't close. We had a physical obstruction, we had access control, all that stuff. Let's go.
Cool, cool.
Man, that was a tough
Yeah.
job. It's a couple of gate operators, and I've been helping those guys out try to figure this thing out for, man, 2 3 weeks easily.
Yeah. What kind of operator was that?
SL, let's see, Automatic SL 100 DC
Okay.
FP.
All right.
Yeah, those new control boards, man, I really like them. Although this one had
Yeah.
a little weird little thing going on with one of the connectors that went to the control board, but I did notice that they made the photo eyes where the monitor open and monitor close. I'm just saying photo eyes because they're now including two photo eyes.
Yeah.
It's yellow. I wonder if that's something like Liftmasters is yellow as well too. I wonder, is that some kind of standard that we're going to?
Maybe it's just to say, hey, this is where this goes here. You know, this is separate from the rest.
Yeah, that could be it, man. So what's going on?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just in here, enjoying the Christmas shopping and um, just doing what we do on Sunday and Saturday. And
What did you just get over a little cold? Because I had something going on
yeah,
too.
yeah, I was like working this week, and then like Wednesday night, I felt it coming on, and I came to work Thursday morning. I didn't even get out my truck. I said, I'm going back home. Y'all boys got it, so I'm gone. I went back home and took some medicine and just tough it out a little bit. And I'm just now getting over it now. So you know.
Yeah, the day I'm gonna update everybody. You guys, if you got anything to say about Liftmaster or gate operators or anything like that, on the Two Smooth Gate Operators page and on 3 or 4 of the major forums on my Facebook page, all that stuff, you'll find the link to where you could jump in. You'll just need to add your email, and then it'll beep on here and tell me that you're ready to jump on, and I'll let you on. Just please be
Yeah.
respectful and courteous. So let me get that invite link going. All right. So yeah, I let's see. I woke up on last Thursday, and I had like a little stitch in my stomach, and I was just like, well, this ain't good. So I went back to bed and got up again at 5, and man, I was just like, this is gonna go bad. So
Yeah.
I spent a little time uh relieving my stomach. I was just, man, I just couldn't stop throwing up. and got to work because we had 4 people scheduled for training that day. So we went out there, and I just couldn't make it past 11 o'clock. But I think I had food poisoning. People are saying
Oh
that it's
man.
going around. So, anyways, well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I know I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, we got still got Fence Tech coming up in February.
Salt Lake City,
And
Utah.
we're gonna be there. I think the last one I went to was Oklahoma, and before that it was Salt Lake. So
Awesome.
if anybody out there, oh, it's freezing too. It's gonna be freezing this year as well too.
Is it
If
cold?
anybody is man, I'm not looking forward to it. It's just really this. It's just a biting cold. I'm not sure if they're doing it at the same place that they did it last year. It's just a biting cold, man. It's just freezing. But
Yeah, I've looked up
Indianapolis was
where
bad
it's
too.
at. It's in a big convention center. And
Yeah, I think it's probably the same place they had it last year, but yeah, the
well,
year
they were
before
somewhere.
that.
They were in Nashville last year.
Oh yeah, a few years ago, wherever it was.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Nashville. Did you go to Nashville?
No, I was going to go, but then I was so caught up in work, I just couldn't go.
Gotcha. Well, the I think the fence show that we did last year, where we just impromptu went in the ASO booth and started doing our live podcast and had a dozen people on. I think that's what we'll try to do this year from somebody's booth as well too. So if anybody is interested in Robert and I wearing your T-shirts, talk about your products, and probably do more video content than you've had your marketing department do, and forever, we would be interested in talking to you. It's just really basic. It's not a whole big, long, drawn out process. We know what we can do, and we know what we can do for you.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we
anyways,
can help you out a little bit. Talk about your product and what we use every day, and we can also, if you got a new product, we'll push it out there for you.
yeah, we'll talk about it. I know that there's already been some interest by a couple other manufacturers that we interviewed last year, so I'm pretty excited about it. Down there at the bottom, you'll see our YouTube channel at Two Smooth Operators on YouTube. That channel has videos that not all of the other platforms do, so check that out. And I've got a few more scheduled for next week, but so far we've been putting about one every weekday out. So, and then this week we had quite a few videos that did pretty well. We're going to be talking about Liftmaster today. That's the primary thing of this podcast, and a Liftmaster video did good for us this year. It's like, are those control boards, all right, be honest with me, man, are the control boards easy or hard for you to read as opposed to the old school elite boards where you can
Well,
see a little bit better?
they're easier to me. What? They're so much easier to me. To me, they are.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but where that have that clear conformal coating, if people don't know what that is, that's the shiny part on the board that helps protect the circuits from oxidation, corrosion, things like that. It's kind of hard to see at certain angles. And then way they have like open eyes, I'm always looking for no close eyes, edge. It's like barely squeezed into that little circle. But if you guys are interested in seeing what I'm talking about, you could go to YouTube and just those are the titles of the videos down there at the bottom. Those are the three best videos that we had last week. So that's on there. And then bad electrical wiring. Did you watch that video?
The bad electrical wire one. I believe I did. Yeah, I
That
believe I
was the
watched it.
one where That's the one where somebody took just like an underground 12-2 wire and just ran it down the expansion joint of the
Oh
sidewalk
man!
and in between the grass and the driveway. And they had duct
Wow.
tape over part of it.
Oh man,
So
man, that's
I
that's
figured
some
that
good
was some,
ingenuity right there.
well, I mean, 200-mile-an-hour tape, you can't go wrong, man. It's rated for hurricane winds.
Yeah,
No,
man. Why not?
I figured that was some job that you were doing on the side. You don't want to
Yeah.
put your name on it
No,
just
I
yet.
do that on my commercial jobs.
You have
Yeah.
a special tape?
We don't use
Yeah,
conduit. We use duct tape. Yeah.
Duct tape.
Yeah.
I can't afford it, man. I just can't be on the level that you're on. Speaking of stuff on site, if you guys are on the East Coast and you ever want Robert to come out and train you hands on, there's his phone number. You can also leave it in the comments. Those actual hands will be there. And then me, I'm on the West Coast. We could do training. We've got a couple of classes coming up. The next one that we got that I'll be teaching at. Hopefully you can make it for this one, because I know we'll be at Fence Tech 2 weeks after that. But you're coming in town for, weren't you talking about coming in town for a DJ conference over at South Point?
I was thinking about it, but I don't know yet, because the beginning of the year starting. I'm going on the fence cruise, so I'm tied up with that. So I might not be able to do both. So
Have they announced any special things going on with the fence cruise, or just come, party, go home?
just come party. It's pretty much self-explanatory. You just get on that ship and start partying.
Well,
I mean, that's what I do best. So
that's what I'm good at. I still haven't seen my invite in the mail. They keep talking about around the office over there, FWA, here at the office FWA, and I haven't got my invite yet. That's one of those things where they don't involve me in the details, because I might party
Lord.
a little too much. But anyways, what kind of service calls did you have going on this week, and did you get video or pictures of any of that stuff?
Yeah, I put a video on the Facebook page on Two Smooth Operators of me cutting out loops on Sunday, this past Sunday. I got a call from one of my customers that has a depot for fuel, and they're real busy on Monday morning. So I called my guy. I said, we got a call to go check out this operator. He went out and looked at it and saw the loop wires would come out through the asphalt.
Yes, sir.
And then we went out there and cut into 6x16 BD saw cut loops that day. And then the next day I sent somebody else out there to just seal it up.
I've been doing quite a few loops as well too. The all the asphalt and stuff out here, man, it's just like spider webbed over the whole thing. And I still don't understand the sealant that they're using. It seems like almost every loop that I go to, the sealant is cracked inside the actual saw cut, which is weird. It's almost like one of two things, like that sealant isn't the right sealant that was designed to do that, or quite possibly that they didn't clean the crack out
did
before.
they use the right? Does it look like the right sealant? Like,
well, that's
we
what's
get
funny
from our distributors
is that what's interesting is because everything's blacktop around here. They use a black sealant, so you can't see it as obvious. But if they understood what the sealant will actually do, if they use gray or sandstone or something like that, after everybody's driven over it, it'll turn black anyway.
Yeah,
so it's hard to say. But because it's cracked like that, and that's why we got to get Brian Dixon on here, because it's cracked like that, it just doesn't seem like it's their BD Loops loop goop. But I've noticed this. Have you ever seen this stuff that comes in a gallon jug? It's fence something, farm fence something, some kind of sealant. I've seen people use that, and I'm not a big fan of it just because of how you have to apply it. It's in a big gallon jug, and it just doesn't seem efficient.
Yeah, I've seen the stuff where it's for roofing and it's in a gallon jug, and it's kind of like a tar-based thing. Well, not tar, but it's liquid. And it's very liquidy. It doesn't do nothing.
Yeah. Well, I've been using that sealant that you could buy at Home Depot. I think it's Silka or something like that.
Yeah.
And I trained this guy the other day. For you guys watching at home, you could see on this video. I trained this guy on not these two guys that are on there now, but I trained this other guy on how to what to do as far as laying out the loops. And then I had him lay all the wire out, do all the backer rod, and then I did the sealant, just because this particular customer was pretty particular about how they wanted the sealant laid in there, and you can make a pretty big mess. So I just got done telling everybody that all the videos are on YouTube, but they're not, because you have uploaded a couple of videos on Facebook that I haven't got to. So tell us about the process. As you can kind of see, this is one of my how I would typically train somebody to
Well, this is
install
exactly how
loops.
I would do it. You know, mark them out, cut them, clean it up. Which I see y'all used water on this one. I started using the blower, but it's better to use water in that situation where you're at right now, because it's easier to clean up and it won't get over everybody's car and stuff. So if you were to use the dry method, the blower method, it would throw dust everywhere. And it would
Well,
be a high risk to do that in that area.
gotcha. Yeah, there were some nice cars and stuff around here, but yeah, they didn't do as great a job. This is the second time I've used these guys for you guys out in Las Vegas. One of the companies I did some training for, still doing some training for, they have this gentleman cut their loops, and I recommended this to another fence company, this fence company right here that's doing this, and they used him as well too, just to see how efficient it would be, which is one of the reasons why I recorded this and edited it specifically for them. But he was great on what he did, but he didn't, it wasn't a matter of just call him up and actually do it. It wasn't a matter of like we had to do our own saws and all that stuff. So this was a pretty basic installation that it was going on right here. So you use your own saw?
Yeah, I got a skilled 2-cycle oil saw that I got a little rolling rack that it goes in, and that's what we've been using. And I just got me a used saw with an 8 horsepower Honda motor on it that I got to get fixed up, and I haven't fixed it up yet, and I might do that over this holiday time, because I've always wanted to use that, because it seems like they're easier than that 2-cycle saw that I use, skill chop saw, concrete saw.
Yeah,
and when I was doing the video, I was like, it ran out of gas, and I was like, well, let's put gas in it. And the best part about it is trying to get it to crank back up after you put gas in it, and see if it cranks back in. It didn't. The cord kind of broke on it, and then I had to shut the video off and fix it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a interesting little rig. Is that something that you built, or can you buy that?
No, they make them like that. We bought that thing 20 years ago.
The rig,
the rig, but that's like the 4th saw we've had over 20 years. Because I use them quite a bit.
Do you? So you cut all your own loops?
Yeah, we don't know. Everything's in house here. Everything.
It just seems like something like that's so easy. Like, well, that's what I was going back for to the video. We were talking about water. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought there for a second. So we were talking about water, and these guys, they cleaned all of that stuff out. They cleaned out the cracks. I like power washing, but the problem is, as you know, most of the time you're going to have a vacuum there for it. However, these guys, if they continue to clean like they did and vacuum it, that's what a lot of people didn't notice, is those guys were vacuuming it as well too. They had a vacuum. They found the lowest point in the drive, and then they just washed everything over to that and vacuumed it up. Man, it's a lot of slurry. So if they continue to do that, I'm gonna pressure wash afterwards just to get all the dirt and debris out of this crack.
Well, the way in that situation, what I would have done is sprayed it down with water, and then used the water to cut the groove out with, and then Have a shop vac, spray water again, and then I have an air compressor with an air nozzle on it that fits inside the loop that will blow it out like little rocks out, and then you know, wash it off. But the best way to me is dry blower because there's no mess at all, hardly with the water, and it just goes faster. But in certain situations, you can't use that blower in a parking lot full of nice cars. So
Do you carry an air compressor on you?
when I do my loops, yeah, I got a trailer just for the loops.
And it's got an air compressor on it?
Yeah, I got a double dual tank 8 horsepower motor on the trailer that I use for my wood fencing and use it to clean the loops out with.
How much wood do you do out there?
I don't do a lot of wood no more, now unless it's decorative. But I'm not in that ball game right now.
Gotcha. See, I would just making sure that everybody has the updated post. I just put that on all the forums, and I'm updating my LinkedIn page right now too.
Mhm.
So sorry I didn't have that ready for you earlier. But well, I just learned a long time ago that I don't know anything about combustible engines. So for me, it's one of those things. I like the principle that they have in the military, which is two is one is none. And in order
Mhm.
to make sure that I get my crap done that day, I like to have everything that I need. And I don't
Yeah.
carry spark plugs. I don't carry
Mhm.
air filters. I don't carry hoses. So if something goes wrong with that cutter, I'm in essence screwed. So I just let the
Well,
experts do what the experts do.
that's when you gotta damn really think and test your entrepreneurial skills. You know, you got to go out there and go get a store, go get a spark plug, go find Google where you can get a cord to fix your crank at to crank the saw up.
See,
So I mean, I've done it
See,
all.
you're still young, right? When there's going to be a time, and it's going to come around the corner here pretty soon. You're going to be as old as I am, and the older that I get,
Oh my
the
lord, you ain't that much older than
the
me.
older I get, the less
You talking-
tolerance that I have, man. I like to have my stuff just set. So if I don't have backups and stuff like that, I just don't. It's not fun
well,
for me.
you got to also look at what type of work I've done. I've been in places where you had to, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you either gonna figure out a way to make your money, or you need to pack up and go home. So you know, I got what you got, like a farm mentality on my end, because I'm in a rural area. So I'm gonna fix whatever needs to be fixed. I took a welding machine and jump started my truck one time.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, see,
yeah,
I've been so lucky that I've always been in metropolitan areas, so that stuff is right around the corner. But no, you're
yeah,
and my service area has always been relatively small, so it's easy for me to
mhm,
go. Okay, just cut this. I'll go get what I need,
yeah,
in what we call non-prime hours, because that's a big thing with me. Like if I
hmm,
can go pick up
yeah,
conduit after 5, I'm gonna go do that.
yeah,
So, anyways, I tried to do it in
yeah,
non-prime
yeah.
hours, and then I'll just come back the
Uh,
next day. There's going to be a
uh,
service call that's close by where I'm going because the service area is smaller.
yeah.
Since I've been in
Mhm.
Vegas, it's been a little bit different. So,
Yeah, it's different for everybody for what we do in out here in the field, but you know, we I just do a lot of things in house sometimes, and now I like to, like you said, you get a little bit older, you want to push it on to somebody else. So I do feel that now more than anything.
well, I knew. when we were going through our list of topics to talk about with Liftmaster, I was like, well, man, that probably should be able to hit an hour. So we got 30 minutes and we still got all of our Liftmaster talk stuff to do. So let's
Yeah.
talk Liftmaster, man. The big guys in the room. I don't know very many companies that don't install it if their customer requests it.
Nope.
It just they're out there, and they have some products that I like, and then they have some products that I think that make it difficult to install and service. And I change my product availability based around that. So let's talk some
Yeah.
Liftmaster. First of all, do you have any experience with the HDs out there?
The new ones?
The new Liftmaster HDs.
No, I have none. I haven't had the
Okay.
opportunity to work on them.
I was talking to a guy that does gate operators in the southern United States, Arizona, and does some stuff at the border in Texas, and so pretty bad weather conditions. And he says he likes them. My experience has been limited. The few that I've worked on here in Las Vegas, it's the install is wrong. You've got it on an incline, and it's very, very tough for them to work on those. Have you heard anything about them just in general from anybody?
I tell you what, only thing that I've saw was a video um from the guys in Wyoming. Um they put a video out on, that's the only thing I've seen on it, because I have, and then what you posted a year ago, um that's the only time I seen, because see, it hasn't really got to me yet, um to even use them or order one. So I've been, for the Liftmaster stuff's been residential for me, so I haven't had the opportunity to work on one. Maybe I'll have one come up here shortly. So I don't know. I'm lost your value.
So if anybody knows,
There you
sorry about
go.
that. If anybody, I was trying to get a drink of water and I muted my mic. If anybody has any HD experience out there and wants to comment on it, feel free to jump in. The link is definitely on the Facebook page. And you know what I haven't been doing? I haven't been following the chats. So I don't know if you have, but we're gonna pull it up right now.
Pull it up.
Pull it up. Show it, pull it up. Oh, overlay. Okay. So I don't want just you on there. Put me on there too. So let's see. We got O'Brien Davis. Got to be on my end. Okay, I must have been missing something there. Exit out and relaunch. What's the what do you think about the asphalt sealer? What do you think? That's what I think. Brian Fredrickson asked, what do you think about the Henry's asphalt sealer? And I think that's what I was talking about. I'm not sure if that's the product that I'm seeing actually out there. That's cracking. But have you heard of that Henry's asphalt sealer?
Anything on the West Coast ain't gonna be on the East Coast, so I haven't heard that. Never
Okay.
heard that.
I think
I could be wrong, though. I could be using. I don't know. But no, I don't
it's
think so.
interesting. It's interesting because it comes in like a gallon jug with a little tip.
No, no, I don't.
So
I mm-mm.
what are you using? BD loops,
Yeah.
loop goop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen HD out here yet in our area either, Brian. I don't think there are too many HDs in Dallas.
No.
Trying to think where. I know they had a couple of issues prior. They discontinued them, then they brought them back, and I think all the ones out there, I've pulled out everyone that I've
Yeah.
come across. But now that they've got a redesign, it seems like there's a
Well, only
bunch of
thing
them
I
out
don't
there.
like about, I like the 585. I don't know why they discontinued that.
Oh man, the 585 got me in so much shit this week, man. There was a guy out there who was doing a 585 service call. Now we have to make a distinction, which I did in that what was on the forums when I made my comments. Are you talking about SL 585 GL board, or are you talking about the new board? or
new
newer,
board,
because they're
the
yeah.
newer board.
Okay, so that's the one that
Anything older than the newer board is out of my memory. It's gone,
oh, gotcha.
obsolete. I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay, all right. Well, the uh SL585, somebody had a problem with the SL585,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at it and had bad corrosion all over it, and
Yeah,
the
need a new
gate
board
operator
then.
wasn't. What's that?
Need a new board.
Yeah, well, so it had corrosion all over the terminal strips. The board looked all right. It was an old
Okay.
GL board. Yeah, it was an old GL board. The newer ones is the ones that's the last one that I put in. We went through a new limit assembly and a new power board and a couple other things, and it turns out that it was just miswired. So I
Mm,
stopped using those for that application. I think that the 50 chain is just too big. I mean, you don't need 50 chain on it,
yeah.
and I
Well,
didn't ever
it's
carry
yeah,
any of it.
yeah. I would use them at industrial places where they would need to pull the lever to put it in neutral or something. Something happens, and then yeah, the 50 weight chain was a bit heavy. That we had an issue with a couple of the weight, the heaviness of it.
Yeah. I
But
mean, it's high enough off the ground, that like unless it was like super long gate,
mhm,
I wouldn't have any problem with that. But because it was 50 chain, you could tighten that thing. You probably tighten it down to where you could even bow the gate. But
mhm,
anyways, me and one of the Liftmaster representatives were talking about that, and I was pretty clear that you've got to make sure that you check your voltage, check your step down voltage, check your voltage under load, you check your step down
yeah,
voltage under load,
mhm,
and those types of things. And I think if we all did that as technicians, it would lower the number of technical support calls that they would get, and
yeah,
it wouldn't just be considered busy work as they were saying. So anyways, long
mhm,
and short of it, the SL585 got me into some heated debates. So there's not very many HDs that I've seen out there, but it was just recently brought up because I had one on a
mhm,
slope, and I was talking to, like I said, somebody,
yeah.
and he's like, "Man, I got zero problems with the
So
HDs."
you said that there was one that you were working on that was on a
Yeah,
slope,
yeah.
and did it struggle any? Did it?
What
It
was
was,
the problem?
and what kind of gate? Was there a wheel on front of the gate too?
It was a V track. So it was two wheels with
Oh
front.
yeah, yeah,
Well, so the issue was in my what I believe to be the problem was that the gate operator was a little underpowered for the gate, because it wasn't a light
mhm,
gate, it was a double drive, and then being on a few degrees slope was not great for it, because what was happening is I couldn't get that gate operator to stop exactly where it was supposed to. So it would slam into the
mm.
latch post and think that it hit an obstruction. And
Now let me ask you another question. Hold up. Does it have a limit switch on it?
no, those still, well, uh, I'm just going to go off the top of my head, and that's why I document everything, because I could probably pull out the pictures and take a look at it. But I document everything to show that, but off the top of my head, I don't. I think it has that counter that's real similar to the CSLs. Why do you say that?
Okay.
Are you thinking put a
I'm just
second switch on
wondering
it?
because the old L 585s had the limit switch on it.
Well, it had limit switches, but it also had some Hall effect sensor as well too, that had to do with
Yeah.
counting. I'm not sure if there was.
Well, it learned it. It had the learn thing where you had to make sure that was on or something.
Yeah, if anybody knows what that Hall effect sensor was for, then definitely shout that out. So let's
Yeah.
actually, I'll pull this up real quick. So this little video right here was one of the things I was talking about with the CSLs, and they're being hard to read. And as you just mentioned, you said you actually like them a little bit better. So let's watch this real quick. This is a
Yeah.
video that I did out in the field, when these technicians were asking, where is the comm link? Well, the problem was I couldn't find the comm link.
Now, what do you mean by comm link?
So the communication link that goes from the primary to secondary, because this was
Okay,
double
a
five.
dual gate.
So
Uh-huh.
so if you take a
Mhm.
look where my thumb is, I got the video paused right now. You
Yeah.
take a look where my thumb is
Mhm.
at. Um,
Mhm.
right next to that is are two little they look like some ceramic capacitors, but I don't think they're that, but I just call them capacitors, that they're bent down
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
the description that says communication link.
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
was only after I started doing this video that I even saw
Mm.
that. But my point was, is you actually have to take the terminal strip off to actually
Mhm.
see it. So, anyways, this
Yeah.
was just a
Yeah.
comical way for.
They got them labeled when you take the terminal switch off. They got them labeled in there on some of that stuff, don't
Yeah,
they? Where
they
you can
do.
read it.
I'll show it to you here in a second. But that was my point. Is like it's hard to read what these things are actually saying in it, and it would make more sense if you labeled it, in my opinion, what it is.
Yeah, but they're looking at time and money on making that board in engineering,
Well,
and
that's a good point. I guess if we want gate operators at the right price, then we got to sacrifice some stuff, right?
that's another thing
Yeah.
too.
All right.
And that's something I want to talk about
All
too.
right. Good. So you could see it kind of right there in the middle that
Yeah. So that's the communication wire for your secondary motor.
That's correct, which is the only
Mm-hmm.
way in these particular gate operators. This customer that I was doing some consulting for, they had already picked out this. This was what they were going to go. They had some SL3000s that they were taking out, and this was the perfect application for these gate operators.
Yeah.
And their thought process was, well, we can always use the primary, secondary wireless communication. And unfortunately, because that's burned me a couple of times, I don't do that. So if I've got the ability to hardwire it, I will. And that's what I was telling these guys to wire up right here.
Mhm. And it's just two wires, like pretty much like any other gate operator. A few others that I've done, it's just been two
Two
wires.
wires, and this one calls for a ground actually on both sides, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the protocol is, but they show a twisted pair inside the manual, which I also talk about
Mm-hmm.
here in a second. Their labeling nomenclature doesn't seem very logical because everything else is positive minus. So if you're using a twisted
Yeah.
pair wire, it's most likely going to be a balanced or what's technically called a differential pair, and it has a positive polarity and a negative polarity. So it would seem like why wouldn't they label that? But it shows a ground on both sides,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, just the two wires twisted together. But we use the existing
Yeah.
infrastructure in this one, and that was just a solid 18 gauge, or excuse me, it was 18 gauge stranded wire that were a straight
Yeah.
pair. They
Yeah.
weren't twisted together. So
Yeah. Cool. As long as it's stranded wire.
yeah, well, yeah, some people you don't like that solid gauge wire.
They love using that thermostat
Yeah.
wire. I cannot stand
Well,
it.
so anyways, you can kind of see right there where it actually has like these two caps. It's labeled F6 and something else, so it might be some kind of thermal protection
Mm-hmm.
fuse. But anyways, so I was just getting frustrated because when you're training these guys out in the field, it's like, hey, go to this spot, and they can't even see it. They're telling me
Yeah.
that they can't see it. So that was.
Yeah. And the thing is you're unfamiliar with it a little bit. So, you got to put it in your memory bank where it's at
Yeah.
and go right to it next time.
Well, now it'll be a lot easier because I also know the physical location of it as well too, with having the right below the safeties.
Mm-hmm.
So and as a matter of fact, if you go to this video right here, you'll see where me and this engineer, electronics engineer, who apparently is in the military uh, end of the business, he builds missiles and stuff. He was commenting on the statements I was making about differential pairs. So I'm always
Mm-hmm.
open to be wrong. If I'm wrong about it being a differential pair signal, uh, And I just don't know why they would recommend using twisted pair if it's not a differential pair. But obviously, this guy is double E electronics or electrical engineer, so trust him way before you trust me.
Well,
And it looks like some people were having some problems. So if you've got some problems getting out on us or getting on us, I don't know about that, but getting out to us and seeing the video, please let us know. But Brian brought up this was Brandon. He brought up that he uses a blower as well too, and he also uses the Home Depot stuff. So me and him kind of use the same thing on the loops. I see a couple other what's that?
Home Depot, come on, give us a call.
Maybe Home Depot's the best, man. Yeah, Home Depot, if you're out there, man, we're looking for some sponsorship. Yeah. Looks like I might have missed a couple of other things on here, things that worked. Okay, no, they're all updated on here. So in the Liftmaster realm, those CSWs and CSLs have been a go-to for me. Now the CSW for commercial swinger has been my go-to. What are you using for commercial swingers?
I'm an automatic guy, so that's what I'm using on pad mounts.
Which one are you using? The one that's that's low like a door king, or
I've
I've
got 4 of those out there like that, but I haven't used those. I've been using the 300 DC 300.
And the 300 is the taller one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that one too. Did they ever fix, in my opinion, it needed to be fixed. Did they ever put the switches for on, off, and battery backups? It's still in the back. Like you can't.
Well, it's on the side.
On the side, rather.
I had to drill a hole in the side of it where where they can cut it on and off. They had to reset it.
Well, you definitely don't have to do that on a Liftmaster. That's for sure.
No, you don't.
I haven't had any problems on the Liftmaster on any of the gate operators with that big switch up front going bad. You would think that those would go bad pretty quick.
Yeah. I've worked on them on service calls, and they're easy to get back going and working. And I tell you what, I went and worked on a guy called me this summer, and he's got several gates out there, and he said my gates ain't closing right. They opened up, won't close, and they're the pad mount Liftmasters. What's the model number you said?
CSW 24 is the commercial.
Yeah, it's something like one of them, and he has a big wrought iron gate, and you got a primary arm and a secondary arm on it.
Okay.
And the primary arm is supposed to be shorter than the secondary arm when you mount them. And
I didn't know that. I wonder why
they're
that's
both. Yeah, one's got to be shorter because it has more torque on it whenever you pull on it.
We're talking about pad mount swing gate operators.
Mount. Yeah, swing gate.
I never heard that before.
You're supposed to cut them.
Well, I know you're supposed to cut them.
Yeah, but one of them's supposed to be longer and one of them's supposed to be shorter. They didn't do that. And
that's
Yeah, that's what I've always been told.
That's interesting. I don't know that I've ever done that. If anybody has an opinion to that, I still don't see anybody popping in. They don't want to get on screen. So, but anybody popping in got an opinion about whether you got to cut one shorter. Is that what it looked like? Is that what it looked like?
Yeah, but it was older. Probably about 2015, something like that.
I think they were still doing this type of format. It might have been a CSW 200 if it was an AC.
It is DC.
Oh, it's DC. Well, then that was
well,
it. So,
Liftmaster confuses me a lot about the AC. It might be AC, but I think everything's DC though, as far as like the board. I don't know about the motor. I don't know.
Yeah,
it had battery backup on it, so.
If it had a separate battery backup on it, then it was probably
separate.
Oh yeah, okay, then it was DC. Yeah, those old CSW 200s, they had that separate battery backup. I got a bunch of them out there. So Yeah, but that is that what that CSW 200 looks like? That
Yeah.
or 24 that looks like that.
The
Okay.
ones, yeah, a lot there's a lot of them in my area. And
Brooks, Evers, and Brooks. So I was about to say, we got somebody else jumping on there, but it's it's the other screen that popped up. For anybody that's wondering, we just just upgraded this software so we could actually show y'all more content
but
and make
what
it a
I
little bit more fluid.
but what I did is I went out there and the alarm was going off on it, and I greased the hinges and set the obstruction force or reversal force. I bumped it up. It was like on lowest you can go, so the wind was blowing and causing his gate to stay open. It's a big gate, wrought iron gate. So I said, man, I had to turn it up and reset his limit switches, and it working good right now.
Gotcha. BD Loops is commenting on some of our posts that we put out, so we always appreciate Brian Dixon and his team over there talking about our products. So we appreciate that. Yeah,
I use your BD loops all the time.
And that's what you do? You do preformed loops?
Preformed loops. That's all I do now. That's all I'm
Man,
gonna do.
we're gonna get into a heated debate tonight.
I'm done. You
use
talking about
hand wrap.
Old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, you old school.
I'm telling you, these salespeople, they send you out there and they say, hey, we're going to install 6, 4x13 loops or whatever. And then next thing you get out there and it's 12 4x4 loops. And it's like, okay, well, how in the heck am I supposed to make this work? So that's one of the reasons why I do hand wrapped is because I have the flexibility to get around a manhole cover. I've got the flexibility to change the shape if I need to use a chevron shape or an L shape to pick up traffic flow or to go wider.
I got different sizes. I got 4x8s, 6x16s, 6x20s. You can get different sizes.
But you're just taking a trailer with you too, so you got a lot of room for that. And maybe that's the way that everybody should do it, but it ain't the way that I do it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, real quick shout out to Brian Fredrickson. Thank you for sharing Two Smooth Operators with your team. Got us up to 157 followers, so that allowed us to actually start streaming on that side. Well, let's see. Anything else? We're going to talk about. You and I were talking about this earlier this week. LA 500s and 400s. Now the 500, I think the 500 is lacking in a couple of spots, and I would prefer, me personally, I'd just rather install a 400 and call it a day. The 500, the push to open, you've got to build the bracket for it. Right. And then the front piece, I think, should actually come with a little bit more support. The part that supports the arm is just a solid 1/2-inch bar that comes out. So I have to fabricate something on that post. So it's not been something that I've liked to do. And I think the 400 is just better. Now, what do you think about the looks of the LA 500? Because I know people that love those things to death. And I still think that the Patriot arm looks better just because it's black.
I like the LA 500 better than the Patriot.
What are your customers saying about color or design or anything like that? Do they have any input on
less? The customers don't care about that here, unless I was in some kind of high-end neighborhood. Some of them don't even care, as long as it works, is what they're looking for.
And that's the biggest thing about it too. And when you have a gate operator like a Patriot that's louder than an LA 500, and then you explain to them that it's got metal gears in there, so it's going to be just a tad bit louder. But and on a board 8 foot tall by 13 or 14 foot wide, it's definitely a lot beefier than the LA 500.
Customer called me for his gate quit working. And this is a customer I had for over the years. I went and fixed his gate and put a truss rod, reset the post. It was a 20-foot single gate. And it had an LA 400 on it for 20 years. And then that went out. He hired somebody else to put a LA 400 on it in 2022.
And
Well,
what did it have
2020,
on it before? What did it have on it before?
the old LA 400
Oh, okay.
from 2000. It was on there for
Gotcha.
20 years, and it opened up a 20-foot single gate, 4-foot high chain link for 20 years. And in 2022, he had somebody put a new one on there, LA 400, and then a year later it went out. And then he called me. I was like, I didn't put this on here. You hired somebody else to do this. I said, I'm wanting to put the LA 500 on here because this 400 seemed like it didn't last long. And so I was like, let's put the 500 on here. He's like, okay. So I put the 500 on it. I ain't heard from the man since. So it's been over a year. And that thing
Yeah.
works smooth. I mean, that thing worked good.
It
And
definitely is quiet. That's for sure.
so I mean, I haven't had
It's
no
quiet.
issues out of it. So, and let me tell you something about Liftmaster. They got it where easier coming out of the box. You can set your limit switches, your limits on it, not limit switches. They got limits on it. You program where you want to stop the gate, where you want to open the gate. And then when you go to set your remotes, it's all right there. You don't have to hook up no receiver, nothing. And you just go ahead and program your remotes. And you hook your photo eye up, you get the gate running smooth, bam, you're done, and you ask for your money. I mean, it ain't no simpler than that.
I do like the built-in receiver, the MyQ, not the MyQ, the new remote system that they have. It's the 850 LM, or I guess they had issues and they had to change it to, now it's the LMX or whatever. All right, so that receiver and that technology, in my opinion, is the best that there is out there, without having to go to like some kind of long range kit. Yeah, that's right. So now they all have X on them. I guess that was after the whole Genie thing. But yeah, now they have X on it. I don't know anything about that. We were talking about that the other day, and I don't know anything about that. That's just the exterior version of what the 850.
Yeah.
You like Vanna White over here.
Yeah, man. She's from South Carolina.
You need to, oh man, you know what I needed to do? I needed to do something with your camera. But yeah. So the 850, the technology, in my opinion, has been the best. And there has not been one time where the 850 has not worked. However, there have been a couple of times where I've had to relocate the antenna. And I got several videos out there on YouTube. I used to have a ton of videos out there. What's up, Shane? What's going on, man? Shane Catton from somewhere out there in Tennessee.
These are a lifeline for me.
Yeah, they are for me too. I will tell you this: as many times as I've said that the RCS or the US automatic receivers, it's got 2 relays, Mr. Customer. If you ever want to take that second relay and turn some lights on or do something cool, of course, now that was before all this smart home technology.
Yeah.
I was like,
Don't
hey, it's
say
got
that no more.
Yeah, I was like, hey, it's got a second relay on it, so you could actually use it for something else. And as a matter of fact, I still think it's one of the cooler things with the US automatic receivers is being able to override, being able to latch one of those relays, which I don't know that you can latch the relays in 2 or 3. I know you can't do it in 1 on the 850.
It's only for Liftmaster products, though.
What is?
To do the party mode, you're saying? You're trying to say? Or to latch
well,
open a gate?
Right, but I'm just saying that the US automatic, you could actually do that out of the box.
Okay.
They had a two channel receiver, and you could set that second channel up to actual latch.
Okay.
But the 850 doesn't have that, does it?
No, the 850 doesn't have that unless you doing it to the Liftmaster
MyQ.
product.
Unless you're doing it through MyQ, right?
No, you can do the party mode with it. That's what they call it in their book.
On the
Latch
850?
open.
Okay, well that would be
Oh
something
no,
that
no, no, no,
whole.
no, not the 850, but
Okay,
the I'm getting confused here. On the LA 400, supposedly there's supposed to be a way where you can latch the gate open, I believe.
that's probably got to be through the MyQ thing.
Yeah, you're probably
Yeah,
right. You're probably right.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
somebody needs to comment. Let us know if we don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
And if y'all haven't seen the link out there or you want me to send it to you, we got about another 15 minutes left. Y'all can jump on here and comment anything you want about Liftmaster or Robert, or not me, but mainly Robert. You got something to
Yeah.
say about him, you could talk about him all the time. So
Yeah.
but the 850 has been super reliable. I know that
Yeah.
there was some issues with whatever they had going on with another company, but after that, they changed it, put the X on everything. Perfectly
Yeah.
reliable, great range, a really great range.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm surprised that inside the housing has been just as good as anything that technology had
Mm,
before with the antenna outside of the housing.
yeah.
So it's
Mm.
definitely been a good receiver, but the 850. You really don't get to take advantage of the security features that much because I end up just buying the dip switch remotes anyway.
Yeah. And you know, they work great because the first time we used to have to get some long range receivers, and they were like Italian made. I can't even remember the name of them, but they were Italian made, and they would work great. But when the 850 came out, and I
Yeah,
had a dude that was like 600 foot away, and it opened from his house, and I was like, I was sold right then and there. I said, that's what we're sticking with, and that's the
yeah,
only ones I use.
yeah.
And you
It's
got dip switches on them, and you can change up each one on the remote on the key fob, so it's pretty
yeah.
secure.
I wonder if you could delete them separately. Yeah, I change up the dip switches. I've got my few two or three that are my standards to go
I
to,
don't believe you
but
can.
yeah. So without having that, on there, it's you got to delete them all anyway. But do you ever
Yeah.
use the second and third relay on the Liftmaster 850 LMX?
Um, I let me on this one right here, the 860 LM.
Okay, I've never used that one,
It's the same thing as the 850, except it's mounted outside.
and it's got three relays and
Yeah.
three different programming areas.
And what I did is they had an office, and then they got three gates, and I put the receiver in front of the office on the fence, and then ran separate wires to open each gate off one, two, relay one, two, and three.
Hmm.
And I gave them a 3 button remote, and they could sit in their office and open the gate up, whichever one.
All three of
Because
them.
they didn't
No,
want no software stuff. They didn't want nothing. They just wanted to open the gate with a clicker. That's what they wanted. So
gotcha.
that's what I came up with.
Are you were you just using just three single button remotes, or did you
Yeah,
use one just three single buttons because
just
you
three.
had them? Yeah, it's so hard these days to actually get the two, three, and four button stuff in stock. So it's not as easy. Of course, in some markets it may be. In Dallas, I'm sure it would probably be a lot easier. But out here in Nevada, they're just, I mean, stock is skim
Why
on a
can't
lot of
y'all
stuff
get
out here.
3 button? You ought to be able to get them like candy.
No, man. To be able to go in and get any kind of like so what I wanted the other day was the keychain remote, and I couldn't find it in any distributor. Everybody was just like, I'll get it for you tomorrow. And I'm just like, I remember when keychain remotes just used to be a staple. And even then it was a passport remote. I think that passport remote works on those receivers. But anyways, I just told the customer, I was like, look, I'm not gonna be able to get it for you tomorrow like I said I was going to. So Brian right here, he's talking about the keypads, that KPW. That's the one you just had in your hand, right?
Yeah.
Earlier. So that has a latch code into it. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting the party mode has a latch code in it. And I was told it was only for Liftmaster Gate Operators, but
Okay, well that may that
and I
that
saw a
makes sense.
video a couple months ago about how somebody had another little board where you can do a latch code with different gate operators.
Was that the one
Um,
that I was telling them that they could do something else, and
yeah.
I
Hmm.
was wrong? He had an Altronics relay or something like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So anyways, if we got a couple more people that actually jumped on, if any of you guys want to actually be on the show right now, the link is in the comments down there. If you got something to say about Liftmaster, let's get it on. So we will be at FenceTex coming up in February. So anybody that wants to sponsor Robert and I, please give us a call. It's relatively
yeah.
inexpensive. It's basically your own marketing department for the show. And you could go to Two Smooth Operators on YouTube down there at the bottom of the screen, and you could see the work that we did at the Finch show in September, I think it was. So so you're going with the LA 400 for your actuator arms right now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
I
found
had to
now.
figure out my market, so that's what I chose to do.
So let me ask you. So let me ask you this: Are you what gates are you putting those on? What type of gate? What material? What length? What height?
The one that's got the true test on it. There was a place that's a wedding venue, and it's a big old castle, and they had a wrought iron gate, um, uh, 12-foot double wrought iron gate on columns, and they had a like a bronze sheet of metal across the whole gate, so the wind's blowing on this thing.
All right.
And I couldn't sell him a LA 500. I couldn't sell him on nothing commercial. And he wanted the LA 500. I mean 400. He wanted that brand. I said, well, I'm kind of sketchy on this because this gate. Well, I put it on there, and I ain't had no problems with it. None. No
Okay.
callbacks on it or anything.
So it was a metal frame with
Yeah,
the
a wrought
support.
iron gate with a um, bronze backing on it, like a wall nearby. It was heavy gate.
Yeah, you have to get those pictures of that and let me take a look at it. That's pretty interesting. So, where it was it close to the ocean out there, or close to a lake
No,
where
this
it could
was
get a
near
little bit of
Raleigh,
wind?
North Carolina. It's a place called Anger, North Carolina. It's
Uh,
a wedding venue called the Chateau, and it's kind of like an hour away from me. But the dude couldn't get nobody to go out there and put them on, so I went and put them on.
Gotcha. Well, I can't say that I've had much experience installing the new LA 400s, and I'm not 100% clear on that product line anyway, because it's like there's a LA 400, there's a 412, and then they have like little different models in each one of those that somehow is a little bit different. So
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever been got
I
the
don't think
lowdown
there's
on all that
much
stuff.
difference in that. I have to look into that. Maybe somebody can comment and say what's the difference on that. Um,
Yeah,
but I
but
have put in probably about this year. I've just sold 3 of them this past week.
oh, and they've been doing you pretty good.
Yeah, I
So
ain't had
what?
no callbacks. And on the actuator arm, when you install them properly, you don't get a callback. I don't care what brand you put in, but as long as I don't get no callback if something tore up on it from the factory or just it broke. But it's all about how you install them. Make sure you install them correctly.
Are you welding the back bracket for the actuator arm and the front bracket?
I ain't welding no more.
You're
I'm
not.
done.
So what are you doing? Just bolting them on?
I'm bolting.
How are you not getting callbacks on bolting stuff on?
You got
Are
to
you?
bolt it right.
Well, there ain't much to it, but I mean, still, I've, I've just never been a big fan of bolting it on. I just at the
I use
vibration,
lock
all that stuff.
nuts.
Oh, okay.
If I
Does that come with it? Do lock nuts come with the LA 400?
um, well, let me think. No, they only send you two bolts for the LA400. You got to buy your own bolts to hook the bracket up with.
Oh, okay. So you're buying your own bolts, and
Yeah.
then what about push to open configuration? Do they have the hardware for that?
I don't know if they
No,
do or not.
does it? But well, that's a wrong question. Actually, the question really should have been, does it come with it? The
Well,
push to
I think
open.
they should. I don't know if Liftmaster makes it or not. I think they should make it. I don't know why they wouldn't, because other gate companies make it. So
Yeah, the last time that I checked, there's actually a third party company that makes all this stuff
yeah.
as well, just a little bit beefier. Last time I checked, the LA 412 and 400 actually had the you could buy the pushed open bracket. It didn't come with it, but the LA 500 does not. That's been one of the things that's cost prohibitive on the LA 500 for me, is that you have to build your push to open bracket and then you have to weld support for it. And I have videos for that. If anybody's interested, just put it in the comments, and I'll give you the measurements and all that stuff. Because once you get it right, then you shorten the number of callbacks that you have. But because I did so much wood in Texas, it was a really tough gate operator for me to put
Well,
on there. But the front bracket needs a plate fabricated for it as well too. Which, if you know what you're getting into, then it's not that hard to do.
yeah. Now, that that push to open bracket, it's not a hard bracket to make if you had to make it though.
Well, if you're doing like a chain link gate or something like that, you could probably fab it out of some angle or something like that, but off the back of your truck. But we built all that stuff in the yard. The other part of it is we
Well,
want
I
it to
would
look
build
good
that
too.
at my shop if I
Oh,
had to
gotcha,
build it. Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, I think it would just, well, the frustration for me is that they just don't sell it. They don't sell it directly
Mhm.
themselves,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, let's say that they didn't sell any of that stuff with it, right? Like if you had to buy a beefier bracket for the front and you had to buy the push to open bracket and all that stuff, as long as somebody sold it, it would be a whole heck of a lot easier. But if I got to go to my
Mhm.
fab shop and be like, hey, make a number two, right? Because that's the way that I've done it in the past, that all the stands that I'll make for different gate operators have a different part number, and
Mhm.
specific custom stuff like that will have a part number. And then you just call over to the fab shop and say, hey, can you make this? But Liftmaster doesn't even sell that part, to my knowledge.
I don't know.
So yeah, it just seemed, I thought they were doing it for the LA 400 and 412
No.
because
But
it seemed.
on the welding part that I was talking about, I do weld if I have to. But I'm trying not to weld on certain gates. Like the LA 400s, um sometimes the bracket's already there and I'm able just to put it on there and go.
Yeah.
And I like it like that,
Oh, I
If
bet
I
you
can do
do.
that, that heck yeah, I'm for it. But
Yeah.
if I have to bust out the welder, I will weld.
Hey, the next time that we talk about the products like that, we'll have to get pictures for everybody to see. So I'll
Mhm.
already have them uploaded and ready to go, so we
I
could
got one
show
of
that.
the pictures of the LA 400 on our Facebook page.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Is it the picture or video?
it's a picture of a what I call a swing arm gate or a farm gate.
Well, you know what? Since we're actually talking about uh, two smooth operators. See, I can't say it right now.
I know
You,
you can't talk.
yeah, thanks.
I can't talk.
But
I know I can't talk.
yeah. Actually, I'm not going to do that right now live. I'm gonna, I'll do that later. But anyways, yeah, you go to Two Smooth Operators and
And it's
check that
just a
out.
ugly farm gate with a nice new motor on it. LA
Yeah.
400.
And are you selling gates as well too? If they need something,
Mm,
and what's your go-to gate? Custom iron or chain link or
I
farm
don't know
gates or
no
what?
more. It's so far the gates have been there that I've been putting these motors on. So I
Gotcha.
haven't been selling many new gates right out the box here lately. It's just been I need this I need this replaced. I need my gate back going. So that's what I've been doing. Um
All right. Well, I don't know if that's your market or not, but I know that quite a few people have been pumping out some gates here just recently. Actually, almost the opposite, where it's like they're doing more fab for gates than putting gate operators on it. But if any of you guys out there are doing gates or fence and you want to get into the installation of it, you could call Robert for on-site trading on the East Coast. He'll even drive to Canada if you tell him.
Yeah. Give me some gas money.
Give us gas money, and you could call me on the West Coast. I've already got some things scheduled. February, La Habra, California. We're going to be doing hands-on on a SL90 installation at JC Gurry, and I've already got some private. I got one private class in January that's here in Las Vegas. So if you need to get a hold of us, you can. Still looking for some sponsors at Fence Tech 2025. I keep saying 2024, but if y'all are trying to get sponsors for 2024, then sorry, we already passed.
We got a New Year's coming up.
Heck yeah. What do you got planned for the new year? Are you going to be DJing?
No, I'm not DJing. I'm going to go to the bar at the lake we stay at. And Amber's done bought her a dress, and I got to get me a suit. So got to go ball.
Well, there was one guy out there that was going to try to get on tonight, and he had some family medical issues. So our thoughts are with you out there. You know who we're talking about. But yeah, since we've all been sick here lately, it just shows you how quick this thing can go from 100% to 0% overnight.
Yeah, and you know, the holidays, Christmas is coming up and just around the corner, and here in a couple of days. And
all right, what are you working this week?
I'm working tomorrow morning. Got a service call at a mini storage, and it's funny.
It's funny?
Yeah, because it's one of them things where I went out there a couple months ago. They said the gate ain't working, and when I went out there, the gate was working fine. I went over everything. Then a week later, the gate won't working, and I went out there, and they got their power 120 voltage run from the GFI, from their sign, road sign, from their, you know, saying this is whatever mini storage. And I clicked the button, and it took off working. The power cut on to the operator. Right. And so we told the customers, like, look, you need to do something about your power out here because it's GFI keeps going out. And then my dad calls me yesterday and says, you know that place over there, that mini storage where you told them about the GFI? I was like, yeah, their sign caught on fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it caught on fire. So they had an electrical problem. We told them about it. You need to get this checked out.
Yeah.
And so I got to go back out there and get the gate going. I got to see. I don't even know if I got to fix the power myself. I don't know. When I get out there, I'll find out. But that's one of them things where you like you say, busy work.
Yeah.
Well, at least I cover my tail and let them know that, hey, this was something wrong with this receptacle. Well, even though I'm not a licensed electrician, but something was wrong with it, causing the gate to cut off.
It's the difference between classroom technicians and field technicians because, yeah, it's not to document power. At the very least, to say that you did it is not busy work, man. You've got to do that on every freaking job because you're going to find out that, hey, especially on AC gate operators, that, you know, you got a motor. If you're going through motors every couple of months, not a couple of months, that'd be exaggeration. I've never had that, but I have had.
That'd be crazy.
I've had AC motors go out every
I've had
3 years on one property, you know, and it's just like, yeah, you got 130 volts here, you know, right up there off for anybody that's in Dallas, right up there at Campbell and 75. I had a customer, and they ended up having to bring a technician to come out and check their transformer. There were an entity that had their own private transformer, huge box. Yeah. So he ended up doing a power check on it and all the things that go along with that, phase alignment and all that. And they found that they had some power, and that was just one gate operator. This facility was huge, so who knows what else they had that was going bad on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Probably shortened the life of a bunch of computers, battery chargers, and all that stuff as well too.
Yeah. Well, I put a LA, not a LA, whatever, 585
Yeah.
Liftmaster at a boat place. Well, you ever heard? It's
Say
a
that
boat.
again. You cut
It's
out.
called a World Cat. It's a Catalina type boat.
No.
They build them in Tarboro, North Carolina. And I put a gate up with the 585 on it, and they, as soon as they get done with the boat, they back it up right there where the gate's at, and they wash it. Well, after a year of washing the boat off and all that, and the water would like run down and run under the operator,
Uh-huh.
and the moisture, the sun be beaming down, and the moisture would go up into the operator, and
Okay.
it caused the motor to go bad. And I put a new motor in it and fixed it up where I put plastic at the bottom of where the moisture wouldn't come up in the motor when they wash the boats. I've had that
Gotcha.
happen.
What'd you do? What'd you do to fix it now?
I had to put a new motor in it,
Oh yeah.
electric motor,
Yeah.
and put plastic at the bottom where it kind of seal it up a little bit,
Wow.
where the
Wow, that's
moisture wouldn't
interesting.
come
Yeah.
up in it. Because they would
Moisture
wash the
would.
boat off and then turn the motors on and stuff, and you got to have water to run the motor on the boat.
I'd be I'd be scared that would hold moisture in just as much as let it out. But
Yeah, but
you
I
know,
would
it
I
is what.
didn't like super seal it. I just made it where it would cause it not to just go straight up in it like it was doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's
Because
just
the sun was
rerouting the
pulling it
water.
up.
Rerouting the water is what you were doing.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically.
okay. Yeah, I've had that, and that's why these basic things that we're talking about as field technicians, man, you want to get your guys in the habit of checking these damn things out. Because if you call me and you haven't told me these basic things that could cause an issue, then we got a problem. You know, I need to know
Mhm.
that transformer, 24-volt transformer, is showing 23 volts, because we
Yeah.
could have something that's drawing too much current. We could have bad
Mhm.
batteries. We can have a number of things that's killing that current flow.
Let me
And
ask you
on some of
something
these on
on
some of
this.
these lift masters, like the mega arms,
Hmm.
they don't like it when you're pulling too much current off that battery power.
Yeah, yeah.
Although they're good, although they're
That
good.
mega tower.
Yeah,
Oh
man,
my.
I love those things, man.
Yeah.
I love those things.
Yep. They
But
won't work
there's
without that battery.
They do not like working without that battery. I think the board, I mean, obviously the board's a pullover from whoever they bought. Like Liftmaster has bought, a ton of companies, and for better or for worse, sometimes both has taken over what they had. That's one board I don't think they redesigned. I think they left it from, I want to say, DC Power or DC Solutions or something like that. So, anyways, what you were going to ask me a question about?
Batteries on
Uh-huh.
gate operators, or have you had any come dead here lately because of the colder weather?
No, we haven't had any cold weather here,
Oh,
man. I was
yeah, Las
joking.
Vegas.
I
Yeah, I
was
need to be
joking.
there right now. You
I
got a
know, man.
toboggan on. You're tricking me.
Well, I just wanted to actually show um my buddy Tony over at Liftmaster. He's been so kind, and I hope that he wouldn't be mad for me to saying this. That he reached out to me just a few days ago on Thursday, asking me about some stuff about a couple of things, anyways. And every chance I get, I always mention him, because there's like him and Bill McCoy and some of the people in the marketing department, Cindy and Kathy, that are just like the sweetest people, and they make it easy, very easy to work with Liftmaster. I'm gonna everybody that's watching this, I'm gonna put Tony's information at the bottom of the screen. You can find him on LinkedIn. But man, there is nothing better than him when it comes to company representatives. So,
Mm.
but the good news is he said he suggested that he might send me some more Liftmaster swag, and I tell you, the two
I
things that I
want
use.
some.
Man, no, man, they don't have your size. They got
They
my
got to make it
size.
then.
Yeah, no, I know. Trust me, he sent me a Liftmaster polo, and it was a large, tall, and I was just like, man, this thing fits perfect. And then this toboggan, man, I actually love it, but I don't use it to work out in the field. I just use it because I don't want it to get dirty.
Yeah.
I just use it for
Yeah.
stuff like this when I'm promoting, marketing, warranty, and selling their products. But anybody that needs some information on Liftmaster, I don't think he's everybody's rep. I know he's regional, but I believe Texas was one of the areas that Tony is in. And big shout out to him. The stuff that he's given me, I've actually used every day, and I totally appreciate it. It's guys
That's
like that
cool.
that make working with that team very helpful. So, yeah, I got my Liftmaster toboggan on. Now what?
Yeah. Lift master.
So, are you doing any Liftmaster access control other than the few products that you've shown, the keypads and stuff?
Just that keypad. Um, haven't had the opportunity to do the new. I know they got the new telephone entry stuff now, or
Yeah, yeah, it's the Cap XLV as I think the most current iteration of it, and I'm glad I got into it when I did because I know at the beginning of that they had a rough go. I mean, that's a lot of technology to develop, and they didn't have anything, to my understanding, that they were basing that on. It was a complete from the
yeah,
ground up design and everything. But right now, the customers that I got, they're referring other customers to do the Cap
yeah,
XLV, and for the most part, it's been reliable. But as with anything, I don't know if they're doing a cellular option yet, but as with anything, the infrastructure on those installs are so freaking important. You guys need to stop using interior grade wire
tell them,
underground. It's
tell them
killing
again.
us. It's killing us, man. It's shortening the life of the product,
Yep.
and our customers are freaking out about it. So
Oh yeah.
I end up have a clause in there that infrastructure, the existing infrastructure, if I see that it's the wrong wiring, and generally it has to do with being underground and being interior grade wiring,
Yeah.
I pull the trigger on it and I just tell them that you're going to have a limited warranty. Anything that pops up that's out of the ordinary, it ain't going to be covered.
Yeah. I like using wiggle wire or something like that.
What kind of wire?
Wiggle.
Wiggum? That's a brand
Yeah.
name?
You don't know what
Well,
wiggle wire is?
are you fucking with me?
No,
Oh, no, it's a brand name?
it ain't a brand name. It's a
It's
type
a
of
style.
wire.
What is it?
It's a wire for sending data.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
hmm
How do you
You know
spell it
how
for
stranded wire, your regular 18 gauge stranded wire,
okay?
when you look at it, it's twisted. Whenever you look at the wiggle wire, it's not twisted. They're just pairs.
Are you talking about two different conductors twisted together? Or are you
No,
talking about the
no
strands inside the
strands inside
cable?
one conductor.
All right. And the difference between what you're saying and what other is some of them are straight and some of them are twisted together.
Yep. hmm
The
The ones
actual
that are
small little
straight, the
strands
data
that are
goes.
in there.
The ones that are straight, the data is supposed to go through the battery. That's why they call it wiggle wire. That's what I've been told over
There's
the years.
there
Somebody
is
could be
no
playing with
freaking
me.
way.
Yeah, look
No,
it up. Look it up.
there's no way. Well,
I
most of the
got it
data
right there
wire.
on the floor. I got some right there.
Oh, I'm not saying it don't exist. I'm just saying that you crazy as hell for telling me that type of stuff. No, I
I ain't.
mean they if you're talking about getting into 10 gigabits or something, 40 gigabits over copper wire,
Mhm.
all kinds of stuff can make it
Yeah.
go crazy. And being an audio guy, that
hmm
Monster Cable are going to tell you everything that they can to
Yeah.
suggest that there's a reason why they have three separate conductors carrying three separate frequencies, because lower frequencies travel slower, blah blah blah. So I'm not saying that that's somebody out there ain't selling it like that.
Well, what's
I
the difference
never heard
between
that.
now? What's the difference between 3G and 5G?
Oh hell, I don't know. I don't deal with any of that stuff.
Yeah, you
But
do with the
it was
cell phone stuff, cell box stuff.
it either turns on and works or it don't. That's the only
That's
thing I
all.
know about
If it
cellular.
turns on and works, I get my money. Let's go.
Yeah, but it would seem to me that if you're twisting the individual strands in the conductor, not
Mhm.
seems to, you're actually creating more resistance because the cable has to be longer to make the same distance. So I don't know,
Yes.
man. I
When
don't
it's
know.
twisted, it takes longer. Whenever it's not twisted, it goes through there quicker
All right.
and smooth,
Well,
cleaner.
there you go. The one thing that I do love is cabling, man. I love talking about it.
Yeah.
Here's a quick tip for you young players that are actually out there hand wrapping your loops. If you've got a comm wire or you got a keypad wire or you've got anything along those lines where it's just a short type of run, use that extra XLPE wire that you have to make those runs. Yes, it's in individual strands. And if you can get over that, I'm telling you, man, you're going to save yourself a lot of money because XLPE is designed specifically for that. It's made to be underground and it's made to reduce the penetration, if not get rid of the penetration at all from gas and corrosives and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So as we're wrapping this up about the Liftmaster talk, man, I think I've covered quite a bit of the Liftmaster
Yeah.
things. Um, let's see if anybody else put anything else here in chat. Michael Brooks, you're smart as hell, man. Thank you. I don't
Who
know if
said
that's
that?
really okay. Well, nobody said it, but
Oh my
this,
God.
I know they're wanting to. I know they're wanting to say it. I know that they're all wanting to say it. So, anyways, no, I think we got all the comments wrapped up. I appreciate Brian Davis, Brian Fredrickson. Thank you for commenting. Brandon White, appreciate you commenting. My electrical engineer friend who builds missiles saying y'all suck. LOL. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody checking in. And I can barely hear it. For you, for those of y'all that don't know, Robert Evers runs sound
Yeah.
for the Pink Slip band, as well as is a DJ. Oh,
Come on.
there we go. And I guess that's our time. We're signing off. Have you come up with our Two Smooth Operators theme song yet?
That's going to be recorded in January, so we won't get no copyright stuff on us.
Oh yeah.
But that's going to get done.
So you say, man. I'm still waiting on it,
Oh, it's
man.
going to get done.
All right. Well.
Yeah, man.
All right. Anything else to say while we're signing off?
Subscribe to us on YouTube. And
Yeah, we really
check
could
us
use
out.
you on YouTube. That's for sure. And any of you guys out there, that you don't have to be a manufacturer, you don't have to be a distributor, you don't have to be even in the gate or fence industry. If you think that having us talk about your products at Fence Tech will be helpful, let us know. You'd be surprised at how much marketing you can get out of us. If you just take a look at what we did at the Fence Show, let us know. My name's Michael Brooks. Phone number is 214-931-2626. If you need field technical advice on a product that you have, I'd be more than happy to help. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you could call me and I'll give you my best field advice that I got. If you need some hands-on stuff or some training, call that same number and I can set up some exclusive stuff for the Finch University. Robert and I also own the Gate School, where we could use the custom systems that we've built to teach you hands-on, or you could probably come over to one of us in Las Vegas or just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, where I got some kin folk. And Robert, if you got anything else to add, now is the time to add it. I look mad. I was like,
here on the
upset.
East Coast, my phone number is 910-874-5541. If you need any help with any gate automation, just let me know. Give me a call.
And until then, we might try to get one maybe before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think we should try to get one more.
Yeah, we'll get another one.
Get one more for end of year. If you could do us a favor, the links are down below. Actually, not really. They're just in the bottom ticker down there. Just type in @2smooth operators on your favorite search engine, and you will find where you can contact and reach us. But subscribe to the YouTube channel. Our goal is to get every video that we do, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever, is to have it on the YouTube channel. And then we've got tons of playlists on there too. So check out our playlists. Robert, what man? Sign off for us. Give us something. Hit me with something, man.
2 smooth operators. We are signing off. Peace.
All right. See y'all later. Have a Merry Christmas and good New Year's. Uh. We're out of here.